ice cold Coca-Cola. There's no waistline worry with Coke, you know. This individual size bottle has no more calories than half a grapefruit.
Calories. The numbers you check every time you pick up a food package. The numbers that make you feel like you won the lottery when you ate a dessert at the calories of a salad. The numbers your mind wonders about all night for that buttery dish at the restaurant. The numbers that you think you have control over.
You're sitting here eating all this food, you animals. You're just gonna get fat. Who eats food these days?
But in reality, haunt you more than your middle school ex who cheated on you with your fake best friend. The numbers that have been manipulating you.
Kim's Instagram is basically a subtle advertisement for various meal replacement shakes.
In ways you don't even know.
Consumption of calories in excess of body needs is the single most extensive nutritional problem affecting public health in this country.
As a past dieter and calorie counter, I've been wanting to make this video for a while now because it will blow your mind how misleading calories can be. Sure, the majority of today's society already knows that calories aren't the full picture and we should consider macros, micronutrients, and so on. But there's way more that needs to be uncovered about the sneaky food industry that's been manipulating you in ways you don't even know.
This is my sister. We have lived together for the last 5 months, have eaten the same, worked out the same, and our bodies are still entirely different.
And to top it off, the lack of education permeates throughout social media and trendy diet hacks on TikTok, to what I eat in a week, inspo videos, to calorie deficit meals to create a more skewed vision of eating.
You know, I like to start my morning with a glass of lemon water.
I usually have a large glass or two of water, and then I have coffee. I'm not a big breakfast person.
And if you're a human with a phone, I guarantee you that there is a 99.99% chance that your view on health and nutrition has been distorted by some kind of media influence.
I will have the side salad.
What would that be on the side of?
Why don't you just put it right here next to my water?
Kind of like wearing a pair of Paris filter sunglasses. Once you remove them, it's about to get ugly. Before we dive into how your brain has been manipulated by the calorie industry, I want to chat about what inspired this topic in the first place. Credit to our sponsor, Audible, on which I finished bestseller I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. Jeanette's toxic relationship with food and calories induced by her mom's abuse for her to stay petite as a Hollywood actress truly shocked me. But from another angle, both women are actually just victims of the manipulation of the calorie-obsessed diet culture. I'd highly recommend this title on Audible, narrated by Jeanette herself. I've been a premium member on Audible for 2+ years, and it is the best investment, as Audible offers an incredible selection of audiobooks across every genre. Visit audible.com/Zoe Unlimited or text Zoe Unlimited to 500-500 to try Audible free for 30 days. Back to the basics. What are calories? The term calorie was first introduced to much of the US public in 1896 when Wesleyan University professor Wilbur O. Atwater sealed a graduate student in an airtight chamber. Through an airlock, Atwater fed the prisoner of science precisely measured servings of hamburger steak, milk, and mashed potatoes. He also monitored his exercise periods and mental exertion. The student was inside a calorimeter, a device previously used to measure the combustive energy of explosives and engines, which recorded his food intake and labor output in terms of thermal energy. And Atwater concluded, quote, that mathematical laws govern the ordinary act of eating. For government officials, the utility of the calorie was immediately clear. It could help with efficient management of nutrition in schools, armies, and prisons. The calorie also let scientists compare diets of different nations. In simplest terms, calories are units of energy that a food or drink provides. It is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of a kilogram of water from 0 to 1 degree Celsius. Scientists measure that as 1 kilocalorie, thus we have the shortening kcal. For practical terms in food, calories differ for the 3 types of macronutrients we eat: carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Each gram of carbohydrate has 4 calories, fat with 9 calories, and protein with 4. And there is way And there's way more to food than just calories and macros, which we will get into. That will alter how your body looks and feels. An additional note is that the calories on a nutrition label only specifies how much the food contains, not how much your body will actually take from it. And the ability to absorb calories vary greatly amongst people. For the simplest hypothetical illustration, for 100 calories of avocados to one person, it might mean 90 calories absorbed, but to another, it could be 60. But much like how diet and nutrition is oversimplified today to these seemingly scientific numbers, when World War I began in Europe, the federal government leaned on the calorie to quantify food shortages and plan international aid efforts. In 1920, progressive Michigan governor Chase Osborne even proposed that international trade should use the calorie as a currency, casting it as a measure of real worth, unlike the quote-unquote imaginary value of metals. To some Europeans, the American obsession with calories represented a grim tendency toward quantifying the human experience. French novelist Georges Duhamel was once urged by an American host to order oatmeal rather than potatoes because it would, quote, give you 200 more calories. Let the obsession begin. Until the beginning of the 20th century, Americans associated plumpness with beauty and wealth. Thinness implied illness and poverty. But by the 1920s, a flat-chested, narrow-hipped, long-legged figure epitomized feminine beauty among the fashion-conscious flapper aesthetic. Bulk, in contrast, suggested a list of undesirable qualities: dominance, aggression, and masculinity. Following World War I, a hurricane change in fashion encouraged women to take thyroid extracts, go on exercise crazes, and buy rolling pins that promised to roll off the fat. When weight loss was in strong demand, calorie counting promised a failure-proof scientific approach to weight loss. Despite how quote-unquote scientific everything sounded, the science of calories was less than just unsophisticated, and advertisers took full advantage of that.
A half-empty stomach causes hunger tantrums. Now with the RDX full stomach reducing plan, you fill your stomach, avoid hunger tantrums, lose excess weight naturally and fast. Get RDX at your drugstore now.
Early advertisers already exploited the idea of interchangeable calories as early as 1903. Ads told potential consumers that a glass of Schlitz beer represented 137 calories, just slightly less than milk, making it a quote-unquote sufficient fuel to furnish abundant energy to the human machine. In 1918, American physician and author Lulu Hunt Peters changed the face of dieting for the next century. Seeking to write a diet book targeted toward American women, Peters latched onto the idea that calorie counting was an effective means to enact healthy weight loss. Her book, Diet and Health with Key to the Calories, became one of the first modern dieting books to become a bestseller. It remained in the top 10 nonfiction bestselling books from 1922 to 1926. The content of the book, as you may have imagined, is as impeccable as the 2 a.m. essay you typed out for that 8 a.m. midterm submission. Stellar. Peters told readers to view all their food in terms of calories. A slice of bread was no longer a slice. It was 100 calories of bread. And her advice was effective. Eat roughly 1,200 calories a day from whatever food group you desired and lose weight. Peters herself vetted the efficacy of this by informing readers that she herself had weighed upwards of 200 pounds before dropping 50 to 70 pounds eating this way.
What is your favorite drink?
Water with a lemon slice.
What's your favorite food?
Water with a lime slice.
What's your guilty pleasure?
Water with a cucumber slice.
Favorite dessert?
Carrots.
Gee, I didn't know that not eating enough food could make you lose weight and lose your period and bone density and muscle mass and energy and maybe even life. A little side note, because y'all know that I geek out on fitness and nutrition and have a whole playlist of videos on that. But starvation only gives the false image of weight loss. because not only are you losing water weight and muscle instead of body fat, you are also crashing your metabolism, leading to easier fat gain, none of which can be captured simply through calories.
I mean, I'm not big by any means, but my maintenance calories is 2,100. So why are we eating 1,500 calories? That sounds sucky.
Despite so, the damage was done. Frequently cited as America's first best-selling diet book, the book sold 2 million copies, 800,000 in hardcover, and was in continuous publication from 1918 to 1939. In 1922 alone, the 105-page book went through 9 printings and topped the New York Tribune's list of best-selling nonfiction books. By 1930, the year Peters died, the word calorie seemed to roll off people's tongues, and even some school children were fluent in calorie counting. Yes, school children. Hi mom, guess what I learned today? The first 3 letters to the alphabet and how many calories are in McDonald's chicken nugget. Calorie obsession subsided slightly in the 1920s as scientists informed the public of the value of vitamins, minerals, and amino acids, but as we see from our nutrition apps today, the idea of quantifying the value of food was here to stay. Calories, a national enemy. Even though we are living in a time with more knowledge than ever on nutrition and wellness, calories still seem to be the arch enemy to anyone and everyone wanting to look snatched.
When people tell me they eat 1,200 calories because they're trying to lose weight, I literally go, oh. This right here is 1,013 calories. That's one of my meals. Just one.
Of course, nobody really says, oh, let me starve myself and restrict my calories. Or I'm going to limit my calories by half of what my body needs, but TikTok Thinspo is still giving very restrictive vibes, and low-calorie foods that are literally poisoning our bodies sell out faster than ever. Yes, I said poison, because not an exaggeration. Some of the most harmful food that we put into our bodies are exactly the ones marketed as healthy and low calorie. Even though the 2020s dieters are much smarter than the 1920s clueless trend hoppers, let's be real. Most of us are only living the illusion that we for sure know our nutrition 101.
Cut out all that junk you eat and go in for fresh vegetables and fruits and drink lots of water.
And are somehow outsmarting the calorie game. And this is exactly what the food industry wants you to believe. And thus, let's talk about the 2 biggest scams in the diet industry: 0 calorie and fat free.
Did you know that pickles are 0 calories?
Pickles are 0 calories? You're really excited about it.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Why?
0 calorie. Everybody loves the taste of a soda that comes with the pleasure of knowing that the bubbling sensation with an immense amount of sweetness came at a cost of exactly 0 calorie. Literally witchcraft. Applause for the savior of humanity. For now, we can consume not just empty calories, but 0 calories while getting our cravings satisfied.
0.
The problem with most of us is that we do know how to read the food label, but we do not know how to interpret them. For example, when you see a diet soda labeled 0 calories, you assume it will literally have 0 calories. However, according to the Food and Drug Administration, anything less than 5 calories could be labeled as 0 calorie. And for those thinking that consuming 0 calories will give you a bypass to weight loss, think again. Weight loss or weight gain is not just limited to calories. It has a huge part to do with the neurochemicals in our brains, and not to mention our gut microbiome, which will largely determine how much nutrients we absorb. When disrupted by artificial sweeteners, more firmicutes, a bacteria correlated with obesity and weight gain, could dominate the gut. Most sweeteners are artificially made chemicals in a lab, and our bodies have not evolved to know what to do with them. Whether if a 0 calorie drink contains calories or not, once you start drinking it, the sweeteners will activate the reward center with a release of dopamine. Your brain thinks that calories will come in, but in fact, they don't. So it gets super confused and will start demanding calories. As the cost of reducing your calories from one source, you end up consuming much more calories from other foods, often high in calories, giving you more food cravings. As far as low calorie or reduced calorie products are concerned, anything containing 25% fewer calories than its actual full calorie version can be labeled as reduced calorie. And if it contains 50% less calorie than the actual one, it is termed as low calorie. This could easily be manipulated by raising the original calorie amount to make the altered version seemingly so much healthier.
The new product is only 100 calories versus the original, which is 130. If you make this swap, you can easily save hundreds of calories.
Non-fat. Because fats are high in calories, they've been overblamed as the culprit for weight gain for way too long.
To be on your best weight, you gotta make the right choices.
I have to have a bite for good luck, though. Mommy, you're gonna have a little bite with me.
When in essence, all three macronutrients have their own importance, and cutting one out completely or villainizing one is only a tactic food companies use to disguise whatever you're eating as healthier. The issue is not fat, but what type of fat. And the blanket mask of calories made it easy to divert our attention away from what they're usually trying to hide.
First off, my beloved Dan and Light Fit, I would go through probably 2 times of this a week, but I looked at the ingredients list and it's just full of like additives and artificial sweeteners and just stuff that you don't need.
And brainwashed consumers who think that low calorie is synonymous with healthy.
Greek yogurt, I believe it's like Live and Fit. It's high protein, it's 90 calories.
Ironically, the non-fat label actually creates a halo effect that lead people to eat more calories. Studies show that people eat as much as 35% more when eating a food with a quote-unquote healthy label than when they think the food is unhealthy. It's all a psychological trick to make you question less about what you're eating. In fact, studies show that the non-fat mindset actually affects the release of hunger hormones so that we feel less satisfied after a meal and get hungry sooner. 2 groups of people drank the same high-fat milkshake. Researchers told one group that the shake was indulgent and high in calories and fat, and the other group was told that their shake was sensible and low in calories and fat. The first group that believed they were indulging had a much steeper drop in ghrelin, the hormone that makes you hungry, whereas the subjects who thought they had a low-fat shake had a flat ghrelin response and were still hungry after drinking the same shake.
I'm a vegan most of the time, 98% of the time. But today I'm going wild.
So, despite how low calorie became synonymous with healthy in the latest years of food marketing, it's almost always a blanket trick pulled to cover something about the food you're eating that the manufacturer doesn't want you to find out. The low-fat yogurt might be high in fructose and artificial flavor. The light version of your favorite ice cream will make you feel less guilty and get extra scoops. The aspartame in zero-calorie soda is going to mess up your gut to give you obesity-related bacteria. The biggest scam, however, is that if you eat a certain way, you'll be guaranteed to look a certain way.
Fatso. I'm loving the title.
Quote, eat the same, look the same. The most intriguing part about dieting is that we fundamentally believe that if we eat like a supermodel, we will automatically look like one. When in reality, Bella Hadid might eat a burger and be runway ready while you eat a salad and feel bloated.
You look so thin. Do I? Yeah. Oh, it's for Paris. Well, I'm on this new diet. It's very effective. Well, I don't eat anything. And when I feel like I'm about to faint, I eat a cube of cheese.
The overdependence of calories shrunk the multi-dimensional scope of metabolism into a 2D dot. People become over-obsessed on what quote-unquote body goal goddesses and gym bros are eating, with an overflowing trend of what I eat in a day, what I eat in a calorie deficit, what I do to lose weight, and so on. Notice how the focus is on the word I.
You're headed down a dangerous road here.
I don't care. I'm the one that has to wear the bathing suit next week.
I've emphasized this extensively in my videos before. No bodies are ever the same, and no diet will ever impact 2 people the same. Our metabolism are established by so many variables like genetics, activity level, muscle mass, age, food sensitivities, gut health, and so on. The biggest scam of the calorie industry is trying to draw an equivalent sign between all of us through the magical formula of calories.
I wouldn't know where to begin. Well, start at the top and stop when you hit table.
By following the quote-unquote standard diet of the quote-unquote average person, let me just say one thing. The standard diet does not exist. And you will not be able to find one single person out of the 8 billion people on this planet who is as described as the average person. By going through rounds and rounds of failed diet myself, by following calories and what works for the average person, I've definitely done more harm than good on my body and finally learned my lesson that I should leave my health in my own hands rather than in the hands of the calorie industry. It is for sure fun and inspiring to see what everyone else is doing to achieve their fitness and wellness goals, but at the end of the day, everyone else is not you. But if you dare poke a little deeper, you'll notice the healthy glitter starts to fade behind the promising numbers cheaply polished by an artificially induced obsession with low calories in today's culture. So next time you think about those little numbers that plague your mind, remember that they are exactly what they are. Just numbers.